welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Melleny. If you'd like to get to know me a little bit better, all my social media links are linked down below, so be sure to check that out if you are interested in any kind of way. Today I am talking about my TBR for September. Hopefully this will go up on time, but I think without further ado we should jump straight on into it. For this month, for some strange reason, I have quite a lot of ebooks to read. I don't know a lot about most of these. I think the best would be just to jump into the list. The first book I have on my list here, which is not necessarily the first book that I'm going to read, and it is Tweet Cute. I believe this is by Emma Lord. I actually received an arc of this. I will be reading it this month because it fits perfectly in with the theme of contemporaries. And I'm actually participating in the blog tour for this, but this only comes out on the 21st of January. So I kind of want to get a little bit ahead of myself and actually start getting to my arcs, because that is the thing that I want to do this year, is to have my net daily to like the smallest amount that it is right now. Like right now, I think I have, I don't know, quite a few titles that I haven't reviewed yet. So I want to kind of get to them, get through them, and get my thoughts out there. The next one that I have here is The Last Huntsman. Once again, I don't know who this is by, but this is also an arc that I received. I'm doing this blog tour or review opportunity with Espresso Tours. They're like one of my favorite companies to work with. This book comes out on the 9th of September. I'm also trying to get to all the September arcs this month, just because that way they're done. The next book I have here is Kiss Me Not. I'm so excited for this one. This is by Emma Hart. Emma Hart is my favorite like new adult romance author. She writes really witty, banter-filled, steamy novels, which I always enjoy. They're really fun. I always find myself cracking up from the laughter because honestly the banter is 10 out of 10. Next book I have here is Wedding Season. This I actually got from Lapa 8 Publishers. This is one of their English romance titles for September, and I was like, ooh, I want to read this now. So I'm very excited for this. As you can tell, I'm really in a romance mood right now. The next book I have here is Handle with Care. This is a beta read. It is the first, so I'm trying to see if I can't read it today. Yeah, hopefully I can get to this before the end of the first week of September, because that is my goal for this book. I was supposed to read it in August, didn't get to it, unfortunately, much to my dismay, but hopefully I can jump into it this week. The next book that I have here is Realm of Nights. Once again, I'm not sure who this is by, but I'm also doing a blog tour for this in September or October, one of the two. I also would like to read Hexen's Cross by Jacob Wallace. This is the first book in the Hexen's Cross series. I've already read this one, so it's a reread for me, but I really want to reread it because I'm actually planning on reading the second one, which you'll see in a little bit. And the next ebook that I have on here is 10,000 Doors of January. This comes out on the 12th of September, and I was so lucky to get an arc. I got it kind of like late in the game. I think I only got it about a week or two ago, but I'm so excited for this because Jess from Jess Nevertheless actually read this book and loved it. So I'm really excited to jump in and see what I think of it. And then the last book that I have here, which are for ebooks, is The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. So I'm very excited for this as well. This comes out on the 3rd of September. I'm hoping to get to it ASAP, kind of straight off to Handle with Care, because I'm stressed. I want to get to it. I need to get to it just because I've heard amazing things about Adrienne Young and her previous book, which was Sky in the Deep. So I have a need. And now we're going to jump into the physical books that I hope to get into. There aren't a lot of them. I had a lot of overflow from last month, so these are the ones that I'm definitely hoping like 100% to get to. And then there are always the few that I'm like, if I get to those, that would be really, really great. But I already have a long list for ebooks. But yeah, so we're going to jump into the physical books. The first book that I have here is The Butterfly Girl by Renee Denfeld. I actually was supposed to read this in August, but I didn't get a chance, and it was like one of the last books I really wanted to read for the month, but unfortunately I just didn't get to it. So I'm hoping this would be one of the first couple of books that I get to read now in September. The next book that I have here is Rebel of the Sands, which is once again the exact same story as The Butterfly Girl, except it's a fantasy, and I really want to start this. So I usually would put this back on my TBR and be like, okay, I'll get to it when I get to it, but I really want to start this series to see how I feel. And it's not that long. It is honestly, like, it is 350 pages. It is not that long. I can get to it. Like, I can read it. I can. I know I can. In August, I got myself the August Fairy Loot box, so I'm joining in on the Merciful Crow read along. that Fairy Loot is doing. It's going to take over, I think, over 5 days. So hopefully I can finish this book within those 5 days. I think it's from the 9th of September until the 13th, so the end of that week. Earlier I mentioned that I really wanted to read The Hexen's Cross. So to get to Hexen's Binding, which is the sequel. This book comes out on the 23rd of September. So I'm hoping to get to it before then. Which means that I'll be reading Hexen's Cross within the next 2 weeks or so, and then this one within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I kind of want to jump into this one almost immediately after reading the first one, just because that way everything is fresh and I can actually get a good understanding and a good, like, you know what I mean? Like, you just want to jump straight into the sequel. So yeah, I'm really excited. I actually got this copy from J. Wallace, and I'm really, really happy that I was selected for the physical art, because honestly, I love this book. I love the first one so much. I'm trying to get myself a copy of the first one. It's just a bit pricey here right now. The next book on my TBR is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. I've heard amazing things about this book. I believe it has some magic realism in it, but that's okay. It's still pretty much a contemporary, and I've heard amazing, and I'm not kidding, like amazing things about this book. I don't think, from the people who I follow, I don't think I've heard a single bad thing about this book. I've heard people, like close friends, have told me, no, you need to read this. You need to read this like now. So I'm very excited. It's only 400 pages, almost 500. So I'm hoping that I can actually, get to it this month. And I think it will be a really, really great read. The next book that I have here is The Universe is Expanding and So Am I by Carolyn Mackler. This is the sequel to The Earth, My Butt and Other Big Round Things. I read the first one. I didn't hate it. But I wasn't in love with it, but I'd like to see where Virginia's story goes. So yeah, I think this was actually written recently, whereas the first book was written a while ago. I could be completely wrong about that, so yeah. But it's such a short contemporary that I thought, it would be a good idea just to jump into it ASAP. I finally decided that I should get going and reading What If It's Us by Becky Apples-Haley and Adam Silvera. These are both really, really prominent contemporary authors. In fact, Adam Silvera just wrote his first fantasy. And the last book that I have here is Did I Mention I Need You by Estelle Mascame. I've read the first one, and I've also read Just Don't Mention It, which is from Tyler's point of view. So I'd really like to continue with the series. I have, in fact, fun fact, I've read this book. This was one of the first books that I got from NetGady. I think I even got it as an ARC. Surprisingly, I know. But basically, I didn't know what this series was. I read the synopsis and I was like, this sounds so gosh darn cute, I must read it. So I read it and I was like, wait, am I missing something? So I went onto Goodreads back in 2014 and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the second book, but I still finished reading it. Well, this is the only one I'd read of the series up until about this year. So I'm very excited to get back into this one. Yeah, wow, I didn't think I'd go through them that quickly, but these are all the books that I'm planning on reading this month. Once again, as I said earlier, there are a couple that I would like to get to extra, like a couple extra of them, but I'm not adding them onto my TBR because I don't want that added pressure. But yeah, I'm really happy with my choices for this month. Very contemporary theme because that's what I wanted to go for. But there are definitely some fantasy kind of books in there because if you know me, I cannot survive without fantasy / paranormal / non-normal things. But yes, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one. And yeah, let me know what you're reading this month because I'm very intrigued always to know what people are reading. So let me know in the comments down below and I will see you in the next video.